ever think that modern life is not for you? Do you do the same dead-end job every day? Is your love life dying on its feet?
To a wonderful mom.
Or have you ever felt that you're turning into
the end of the world?
A zombie? Maybe you're not alone.
Pissed.
Although no one official is prepared to comment, religious groups are calling it Judgment Day.
It is vital that you stay in your homes. Avoid all physical contact with the assailants.
Oh, he's got an armor!
So, what's the plan?
Bash him in the head, that seems to work out.
Why have we got to go to Lizzie's? Because I love her.
All right, okay.
Do something! Wait there.
Hold it there. I'm coming! Here they come!
Welcome to Dorking Out. My name is Sonia Mansfield, and you got red on you. Joining me is my podcasting sister from another mister and the co-host of Dorking Out, Margot D. Hello, my friend.
We're coming to get you, Barbara!
We're dorking out about 2004's Shaun of the Dead, which is celebrating its 20th anniversary.
God.
Oh, boy. Feeling old. Okay, directed by Edgar Wright and written by Simon Pegg and Edgar Wright. It stars, Simon Pegg, Kate Ashfield, Lucy Davis, Nick Frost, Dylan Moran, Bill Nye, Penelope Wilton, and Jessica Stevenson. Did you see this in the theater, my friend?
You're goddamn right I did.
Me too.
And I loved it.
Me too.
I absolutely loved it. And the audience I was with completely loved it.
Yep. Everyone was, it did pretty well in the theater, if I remember correctly. Let me look it up. Sorry, everyone. Yes. It made almost $40 million, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it was a budget of $6 million. So it was considered quite the hit.
We need more of these, please, by the way.
Yes. It's such a good surprise, everyone. It's such a good movie. Like, there's a reason they're re-releasing it in theaters. It's very affectionate about its love of zombie movies, really. But it's also
and Romero.
Yeah, and super gross and really funny. And there are moments in the movie where I was like, oh yeah, that part is really fucking sad. Like, in the middle of this wacky, bloody comedy, there's like some like really sad moments. And I'm like, Jesus, this movie, it's got it all.
This movie has everything.
This movie has everything. Gore.
Zombies. Romance. Sadness.
Fart jokes. If you haven't seen London. If you haven't seen Shaun of the Dead, you should pause this right now. Go watch Shaun of the Dead.
It's on Peacock, y'all. It's on Peacock.
You can just watch it on Peacock. I actually own it because it turns out I think Edgar Wright might be one of my favorites because I own all of the movies. I own this one. I own Hot Fuzz. I own The World's End, Scott Pilgrim, Baby Driver, Last Night in Soho. I own them all on DVD. And I was like, oh, I super love Edgar Wright.
And he's a rad dude, too. He's a cool person to get behind. It's not like a Quentin Tarantino thing where 30 years later, he's kind of a mess.
Right. And by the way, I own a lot of Quentin Tarantino movies too.
Yeah, me too.
But there's something about Edgar Wright movies that really click for me. And I think it's Well, it's the humor. I love the editing style, the like fast cuts, zoom ins. I love the musicality that he brings to things like Baby Driver and Last Night in Soho. So yeah, there's something about him that just like clicks it itches a spot in my brain that I really like. Yeah. So, and this is one of those movies, and I just super love it. There are things now, watching it 20 years later, where I'm like, oh, Shaun isn't a really good boyfriend. Like, you know, he is like a real fuck up. That, by the way, the movie also acknowledges he's a fuck up, but I think me 20 years ago was like, just cut him some slack. It's not that big of a deal. And now I'm like, Shaun, make a reservation.
Get rid of that. Make a reservation. Get rid of that guy as your roommate. He's holding you back.
Yes. All those things. So again, movies don't change, but we do. So there you go. Shall we just go through it?
Please.
Okay. So it opens with Shaun. He's in the pub with his girlfriend Liz and her like two besties. Or, well, I guess her bestie and her bestie's boyfriend. And they're just like, dude, stop spending all your time with Ed. And Ed is Nick Frost. And Ed's a very obnoxious person. Like,
you have friends with Ed in college, but at some point you have to get rid of Ed. If he doesn't improve, it's just going to get really sad.
Or you have to set boundaries with Ed, you know, and
I think leave Ed. Sorry. This is the me 20 years later.
Yeah, Ed doesn't have a job. He's pretty fucking rude. Very selfish. He smells.
I can smell him.
Yeah, Nick Frost is doing a really good job here, by the way, playing this kind of person. He's
he's doing it perfectly.
Yeah, and so Shaun doesn't want to do those things. Like, he doesn't want to cut off his friend. He has a lot of, well, he likes him. He likes,
they're friends.
Yeah, he wants to have a foot in both worlds. He wants to be with Liz and have that relationship, but he still wants to be a fuck up with Ed. Like, he's having a hard time making that decision. Shaun is so flaky, basically. Dude can't even make dinner reservations. Like, that's some bare minimum shit. Like, it's their 3-year anniversary.
No, I have no patience.
I have no Dude, I make dinner reservations pretty much every time I go out to eat. I'm like, I don't want to wait for a table. Can we just... Yeah.
No, I don't want to hang out at the bar with the breadsticks for 2 hours waiting for people to be done with their food. I hate that.
No, I hate it too. And he's one of those people. He doesn't...
I love breadsticks and bars, by the way. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but when you're ready for dinner, you're ready for dinner.
I want to sit and eat, and I want to go home and watch TV. This is very simple.
Yeah, young Sonia, by the way, totally would sit at the bar and like wait.
Sure.
I would wait 2 hours for a table or whatever, but now I don't have patience for that. Like, I just don't. But you know, he doesn't keep any of his promises to her, and he doesn't keep any of his promises to anyone, really. Like, you know, his stepfather shows up, that's Bill Nye, and
so fucking good in this movie.
He's so good, and it's a small part. He didn't, you know, he could have just passed, but he took it anyway. And he's really good in this part because again, like, it's comical at the beginning, and then he gets like a really sweet moment later in the movie. And he's telling him like, hey, when you come visit your mom, buy her some flowers, like, stop being a dick. And he can't, you know, well, I guess he does buy flowers, but that's a whole other thing. For his mom. But eventually, like, you know, he doesn't make the dinner reservation. Liz breaks up with him. He's stuck at the pub crying while Ed is like doing his monkey impression, and the jukebox is playing the saddest songs in the world by Air Supply. And meanwhile, he's so like clueless to the world around him. So like all around him, we're seeing signs that the zombie apocalypse is coming. But Shaun is so clueless to what's going on that he's not seeing it. Like, people are dead and this, like...
So appropriate to this time of year. It's an election year in America.
Yeah.
We're like a month and a half out from it. And I have friends, when we hear about people who are undecided, and it's like, well, where do you get your news? Oh, I don't get news. I just wake up in the morning and I do this and that. I'm like, oh my God.
I'm like, what's that like?
Yeah. Wait, there's 34, allegations against him. Like, yes, like, excuse me. He has 34 felonies. But yeah, anyway.
No, I'm like, here we go. Who are these people? This is
Who are these people?
my
Yes.
Jerry Seinfeld impression. Like, I don't understand the people that don't watch any news at all. And here's
Ed. It's like all over the place and he doesn't notice it.
Yeah, he's just flipping through the channels. It's all news. He's like, whatever, man. He's walking through his town. And it's a great setup is we see him on his first day before the pandemic. I almost called it the pandemic. The zombie apocalypse takes off. And you see his routine is lots of quick shots, zoom ins of people walking around. He's going through his daily life. And then we get the next day and it's the same thing, but now it's zombie apocalypse. And there's dead people everywhere. And there's bloody handprints on things. And he's literally slipping in blood in the store. And he's like, meh, 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 just going about his life. Totally oblivious to what's going on in the world, and he's just chilling with Ed, and they're gonna play video games or something, and they notice a woman is standing in their garden, and they go out there, and he's like, I just broke up with my girlfriend, I'm not interested. They think she's coming on to Shaun, basically, and then they're like, she's drunk. It takes them a while to figure out what's actually happening.
Yeah, I thought this was much funnier back then. This time I was a little like, ooh, this poor woman. It's weird. It's just very, but they're drunk. So
yeah, they're really hungover. But the whole thing about this is also pre Walking Dead, where most zombie and I think 28 Days Later came out after this. So there was a whole resurgence of zombie stuff. The Dawn of the Dead remake came out this year. I think 28 Days Later came out around this. Walking Dead wasn't a thing. So yeah, not yet. Sorry. It was, I think the graphic novel existed. But anyway, there's, I don't know where I was going with that. Anyway, they do a whole thing where they're trying to kill her with records. I don't know why that's a thing, but whatever. They do it. It's funny. Apparently, Sade was very cool with them using her album as one of the things they throw.
It's one of the weapons.
Yes.
I love the Prince thing. Sign of the Times, no. 1999, no.
Batman Purple Rain, no. Yeah, Batman soundtrack, yes. Throw it.
Yes, toss it. Thank you.
So there's, so they decide, they come up with this plan that they are going to go and get Shaun's mom, Barbara. It turns out the stepdad, Bill Nye, has been bitten. And then they're going to go and fetch the ex-girlfriend, Liz, and her flatmates. And they were going to bring them back to the apartment. But then because Ed is such a dumb loser, they decide for some reason it has to be the pub.
The Winchester.
Yeah, it has to be the Winchester. So they come up with this plan. Oh, and their roommate has turned into a zombie too, which is, I guess.
Is that his brother?
No, it's not his brother. It's just another friend from college or something.
Oh, okay.
And he's just walking around naked, I guess. That's cool. I'm cool with that. So it turns out Shaun's actually really good at beating up zombies. He needed the zombie apocalypse to happen for him to find something he's good at.
It was a self-actualization happened when the world went to shit.
Yeah, he's running around with his cricket bat, beating up all these zombies. He's pretty good at it. And they go to get his mother, and she's so lovely. She's so nice, so polite.
Her. Barbara's so wonderful.
Yeah, such a lovely character that everyone knows a Barbara. She's totally sweet, and her husband Phil has been bitten, and for some reason they still decide to take him with them.
Because he defends Shaun. Or he says to Shaun, like, it's not easy being a stepdad, and I know that was hard for you. You lost your father. They had this moment.
They have this very sweet. It's very sweet.
Really nice. I liked it.
Yeah, in again, like really over the top, gory comedy about zombies. There's these very sweet moments, and one is Philip explaining like how hard it is to be a stepdad.
Yeah.
And says these very sweet things and then instantly turns into a zombie after that. And it's like, it's really sad.
And of course, and J.D. Vance would be like, doesn't count.
Doesn't count. Like, you're not really a dad.
Did you marry a maid? I did.
He's such a dick. So, so then they go and they rescue, they get Liz and her flatmates, David and Diane, and honestly, they were probably fine where they were. He's basically endangered their lives now, but what are you going to do? Like, he gets them to like go with him to the pub, and there's a whole thing where they pretend to be zombies that's, I think, pretty funny. Like, they're just blending in with the crowd. Hey, we've all been there. Just try to blend in with the crowd.
You know what's funny is at this time, there used to be a methadone clinic in my neighborhood.
Oh my God.
And you would see people like them. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, I mean, this is not a nice thing for me to say, but there is a neighborhood in San Francisco where we have a fentanyl crisis here in San Francisco, but it's pretty confined to this neighborhood, and you see people walking and they're like really hunched over, and apparently there's something about fentanyl that like makes people like really hunched over, and like it's really disturbing to see in real life. And
that's when I see that my heart immediately goes, oh no, what are they going through?
Yeah. Exactly.
I don't think zombie.
No, I don't think zombie either, but a lot of people make that joke about that neighborhood here in San. They're like, it's like The Walking Dead over there, and I'm like, yeah, all right, I see you. I'm like, I try to have a little bit more empathy for people than that, but anyway,
at this time I didn't.
But at this time I didn't. At this time I was like, meh. So they basically blend in with the zombie crowd. They break into the pub, and I don't know, they spend quite a bit of time just hanging out, drinking, eating snacks, and hunkering down at the pub, which, okay. I'm like, I might want to, maybe the pub is like their equivalent of the Waffle House. They say.
But also it's pub culture in England.
Yeah. They say in like when there's like tornadoes or hurricanes or whatever in the South, they have the restaurant chain Waffle House, and apparently Waffle Houses are designated like safe spaces where people can go during.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Jesus, have a stack of pancakes.
Exactly. So I'm like, maybe the pub is their equivalent of the Waffle House.
Yeah, I get it.
I've never been to a Waffle House, but I bet it's real good. I mean,
I've been to pancake houses and they make me very happy.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to an IHOP. I've been to the International House of Pancakes.
With a lot of butter and syrup.
When I was in my 20s, the International House of Pancakes was doing something where you could get all you can eat pancakes. And I was like, let's do it. So like we would go there and like I couldn't even eat that many. I was like, what are you doing, you weirdo? But like I was like, $5.99 for all you can eat pancakes? And like,
I might be hungry later. I better do it now.
Yeah, and I go and I eat like 3 pancakes, and I was like, that's enough. Like,
that reminds me of Kevin Meaney had a great joke about people like, you're not supposed to eat all you can eat. I still have some room in my esophagus.
Yeah,
it always makes me laugh because I do the same thing.
Yeah,
it's a bargain.
Yeah, but what's funny is I probably could have just ordered a short stack and I would have been fine. But no, for some reason I was like, all you can eat? Like, So, I mean, I guess the trick is you eat all you can eat, and then you order something and then you get a box, right? So then you can have food later. But
or you put the rolls in your bag like a normal person.
Have you ever stolen anything from a restaurant?
Oh, my friend Kim and I were notorious for that. And we would steal cutlery and put in each other's jackets, bags.
Yeah.
A big, huge pepper grinder once.
Yep.
I mean, we were known for that. Yeah.
Yeah. I used to.
Assholes.
Yeah. I stole mugs a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I like to steal mugs. So I had an International House of Pancakes mug that I was pretty proud of. I had a Denny's mug. I had a Lions mug.
I have a collection of steak knives from all sorts of places around this country. When you used to be able to fly, I flew cross country with steak knives in my bag. My carry-on.
By the way, I stole a bunch of other things too. I stole like little ice cream dishes from like an old spaghetti factory. I was such a dick. But like one time, my mom stole a steak knife from Outback. This shit was like 30 years ago. We still make fun of her. We're still like, remember that time Mom stole the steak knife from Outback?
Come to me and make fun of me all you want, but you'll have great knives for your steaks.
My mom's like,
Mine's from Taste of Texas.
She's like, I did that one time 30 years ago. And we were like, remember? Also, anytime she mispronounced something, we like make fun of her. Like, we're so mean. We're the worst. Anyway, so they're in the pub. Back to the movie.
Yes.
Turns out this episode isn't about how we like to steal things from restaurants, from diners.
We do like to talk about food, though.
We do, especially at we're recording first thing in the morning for me.
I know. I'm hungry, too.
I'm like, I could go for a stack of pancakes right now. So then the zombies are like, they're really coming down on and this is very much like Dawn of the Dead, where they're all kind of holed up in the mall. And eventually the zombies start figuring out there's people in the mall, and they're like, they start forming like a crowd around the mall. And that's what's happening here, but it's happening a little faster. So all the zombies now know that there's, living humans in the pub, and they want to get in there. But in the middle of all this, they realize that Barbara has been bitten. And this part is the part it's so fucking sad, because she's so lovely.
She's lovely. And then like you want to do the best by her. And this is a trope in horror movies. Like the person is possessed, and then you have to out them. You have to end their lives before they transition into this monster. I don't mean to use transition, but you know what I mean by that word.
Yes.
And so she's like you're hinting at it. She's hinting at it. Like she's a little quiet, she's a little reserved, and you wonder if that's it. And then what's the guy? I can never remember his name. The annoying guy
David,
he's with the glasses and the striped
his
shirt.
His name is David.
Oh, yeah, David. So David is aiming the gun at her.
Yeah.
The only time he's brave, I don't know, the only time he takes action and doesn't just criticize, and him criticizing every fucking thing, I was going to punch him in the balls.
Yeah, and by the way, we all know a David.
Yeah, no, that's the whole point of him, right?
Yes. But like the minute like Barbara is, all of a sudden he's Mr. Action, and he's like, we have to kill her and all this stuff. And Shaun is like, fuck you, don't point that gun at my mom. And there's like a whole standoff where like they're pointing like bottles and guns at each other and all this stuff. But it's also this like, it's really sad. Like Barbara knows what's going to happen. She gives her necklace to Liz and is like kind of giving her approval to their relationship. And Shaun really loves his mother.
Yeah, and Shaun's actually, he's becoming a man. He's taking care of taking care of business. He's taking on some responsibility, and he's trying to take care of people and do the right thing.
Yeah, and so he, for some reason they decide like that they let her turn first, and then David shoots his own mom, and it's fucked up. Like, I honestly,
Shaun.
Yeah, Shaun, like it's so fucked up for him, and I don't know if I could make the same call. Like if I was in his position. I hope there's no zombie apocalypse, by the way. I don't want to ever have to make these decisions. But
I think Celeste will be okay.
Yeah, I think my mom would be trust me, my parents,
your dad will shoot the shit out of them.
Shit. if there's a zombie apocalypse, I'm going to my parents' house. Like,
yeah,
my dad
take care of everybody.
Yeah, exactly. My dad, he doesn't fuck around. He's like, I've been waiting for this my whole life. It's my time to shine.
I've been training since 67.
Exactly. He's ready. So there's this. So he ends up shooting Barbara. It's super sad. Again, in the middle of this gross out zombie action comedy, there's these very touching moments. And then it turns into like kind of a free for all after that. Like it turned like he's like, you're in love with, they get into a big fight with David and all this stuff. And then David gets probably the most gruesome death in the whole movie. Like,
it's pretty gross.
Like zombies pull him through a window. They reach in his stomach and like pull it's nasty. And then for some reason, his girlfriend, I forget her name. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. She like takes his severed leg and runs into the zombie crowd. Like she's like, what the fuck? Look, take that, zombies! Burr! Like she's like giving them a leg up. Burr!
It's fine. It's gonna crush your head. Crush, crush, crush.
Yeah, I don't know what she was doing there, but I don't know what her plan was, or maybe there was no plan, but that's what she decides to do. Unclear. I don't think she makes it. Like, we don't see her.
I think that's a pretty good bet.
At some point, oh my God, Ed gets bitten as well. And Shaun and the girlfriend and Ed are now all in the basement and they're hunkering down and they're thinking about like using the last 2 bullets for each other. And they're debating who's going to shoot who. And like, Ed's like, I'll just let the zombies have me. It's fine. You guys can have the bullets. It's, and then there's the whole thing where the girlfriend's like, oh, you're just assuming that we're back together. And he says, well, you don't want to die single, do you? And it's like, now, Shaun. I won't. Shaun. Mm-mm-mm. But they're, I wag my finger at that line, but that's fine. It's fine. Whatever. There's some very like on the nose things where like Ed is saying, I'll only hold you back. Like you have to let me go, like all this. And it's like, yeah, we get what you're doing here. And Shaun and Liz leave the pub. And by then, like another group that they had run into at one point shows up and she's got like the army and they're just like killing all the zombies. And did you ever watch Spaced, by the way, the TV show Spaced?
No, I would look that up and because I realized like they said half the cast of that is in this and I never seen it. I didn't even know what it was.
It's really funny. I watched it. It would have been like 2010, 2011, like right before I got pregnant and had Calvin. I think there's like 2 or 3 seasons and British seasons are really short. So
yeah, they got it right. They figured that out quickly.
But I remember laughing really hard at some of the stuff. Like I'll be curious if I rewatched, would it have aged well? But there's solid shit in there. And Nick Frost, who's playing Ed in this movie, was particularly funny, I thought, on the show, playing someone who's like, I don't know, he's like he's like former military or something. I forget. But anyway, he's really funny. So cut to 6 months later, they have now decided to take advantage of the zombies. They're like free labor, basically, which is fucking disturbing. Like,
yeah,
they're using them as free labor and entertainment, by the way. They're watching like the equivalent of like American Ninja Warrior, but they're like having zombies run obstacle courses, and I'm like,
I would watch the shit out of that. I'll be honest with you.
So disturbing.
I actually would. I would check it out at least once. I'll be honest with you.
Well, sure, I'll watch anything once, but like, it's a little just. I would like to watch the Real Housewives of Zombies. Like that might be something I would be into.
Mary Cosby.
You talked about me on a podcast.
You smell like hospital.
Don't talk about my family. Oh, Housewives.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that. I'll have the Pinot Grigio. Now Liz and Shaun have moved in together, and that nothing's changed for Ed, pretty much. He's now a zombie, but they keep him chained up in a shed where he's just sitting there playing his video games.
He's fine.
He's fine. He's living his best life. It's like what he wanted to do anyway.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty weird, but I guess that's their equivalent of the happy ending. And what's funny is Liz is described, like, what their day is going to be is pretty much what she said she didn't want at the beginning of the movie, but there you are. What are you going to do? You know, she's like, we're going to go out and have Sunday roast, and then go to the pub, and then go to bed. And I'm like, well, I don't know. That sounds great.
That sounds like an amazing day.
Yeah. I'm like, if I could do that, maybe I would date again, but I don't want to die single, do I? Like, this movie's in it, by the way, it's like a little over 90 minutes too. Super tight.
It's great. There's not one wasted scene. There's not one extra scene. It just all fits.
This was a great way to kick off Scary Movie Month. Like,
yeah,
perfect. I really, really enjoyed it. So, do we have anything else we want to say about Shaun of the Dead?
Just that we love it, man.
Yeah, we love it. It's really, really entertaining and surprisingly touching. I had forgotten about those moments, to be honest. I always remember the beginning stuff with where he's walking around and everybody's dead and he's not paying attention. But then I had forgotten about the more touching moments, and it's gory, but it's not like really, really fucking gross. It's not like over the top gross. Just enough. Would you like to? We have never done a 2004 movie before.
This is exciting. I can't wait.
So, shall we talk about the top 10 movies?
Yeah.
Okay. Number 10, Polar Express.
That is a creepy fucking movie.
I've never seen it because the animation is too weird.
No, it's not good.
But there are younger people that grew up watching it and seem to have some sort of affection for it, but the animation was a turnoff for me, so I didn't see that one. Number 9, National Treasure.
I've never seen it.
I've never seen it either. And
it's Nick Cage?
Yeah.
It might be fun to do because I bet it's really silly.
I bet it's really silly too. We should put it on the list.
Yeah.
Okay, number 8, The Bourne Supremacy.
I like the Bourne movies. I don't know what's happening in them, but I like them.
Same. I didn't see the one that wasn't Matt Damon, but all the Matt Damon ones are super fun.
Like, Matt Damon.
Number 7, a movie only my kid likes, The Day After Tomorrow. Do you know that one?
Oh, I know it. Yeah, no thanks.
No, my son loves disaster movies, and this was one of his go-tos for a little while. It's not good, but if you like disaster movies, the effects are pretty great. Number 6, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban.
I like my Harry Potter movies.
Yeah, this one, a lot of people consider this one to be the best one. This is the one where we get Sirius Black, Gary Oldman. I really like this one too. I like Goblet of Fire a lot. That's the 4th one. This is the 3rd one. Number 5, The Incredibles.
I love The Incredibles.
Me too. It used to be my fave, but then I dug a little deeper and realized that Toy Story 2 is probably my real fave. Or maybe Inside Out. Okay, number 4, Meet the Fockers.
Yeah. I've never seen it, so I can't tell you if I liked it or not.
I haven't seen it because I'm one of those weirdos.
Hate Meet the Parents.
I really hate Meet the Parents. The people love Meet the Parents. It made $1 gazillion. For some reason, I really fucking hate Meet the Parents. Speaking of movies, I'm not interested in seeing. Number 3, The Passion of the Christ.
No, you don't really, Sonia?
No, I mean, talk about unnecessary gore. Like, no, thank you. For those who don't know, this is like Mel Gibson's like Jesus movie.
Torture porn.
Yeah, it's torture porn basically. And super weird that, like, I remember my grandmother, like, she was very, very religious. And she went and saw this movie, and I've seen clips of that movie, and I was like, Grandma sat through this?
I remember hearing about people who supposedly, like, were in the audience seeing this movie, and then would get up and start crying and praying, like, in the middle of the movie. Like, they had people took friends they were trying to recruit. I don't know what to call it. But yeah, it's not for me.
No, I mean, if that's your thing and you like it and it speaks to you, great. Everyone has their...
We're not going to cover it, being the point.
Yes, no, we're not. We're definitely not putting that one on the list. So if you're looking for that one or The Last Temptation of Christ, you're on the wrong podcast. And now we got a couple of sequels. Number 2, Spider-Man 2.
Okay.
Which is really good, actually. I like that one a lot. And then number 1 is Shrek 2.
I do like the Shrek movies. I'm a dork.
I don't think that makes you a dork at all. In fact, my son, he's 13 today, happy birthday, Calvin, he was just talking about Shrek last night. And we were talking about...
And does he like them?
I don't know if he's seen them all, but he definitely has seen the first one. We were talking about how much we love Donkey. We think he's so cute.
Donkey!
He's so cute. So that's the top 10.
So you want to hear the top 10? It's the top 10 songs from this week, September 25th, 2004.
Can't wait. I bet I know one of these.
I know a couple. Number 10, Locked Up by Akon, Styles P. Okay. Number 9, Diary by Alicia Keys featuring Tony Tone.
I don't know this one either. What?
I know we're nerds. Number 8, Dip It Low, Christina Milian.
Nope.
Number 7, My Boo, Usher and Alicia Keys.
Okay, yes. I
know that song.
I know that one.
Number 6, Pieces of Me, Ashley Simpson.
Okay, yes, I know this one, and I really like this song.
I like this song too. I was working at YM magazine when this album came out, and when Ashley Simpson launched her career, and we had an award for her. So I got to meet her and hang out with her and her mom.
Yeah,
and she was an hour late, and she took forever to get ready. That's on brand. But it was a luncheon, but she actually was very charming and sweet, and she sang her songs live.
Yes.
And did a great job. That's important to remember, like how her career went pear-shaped. I could tell you she can sing live.
Yeah.
And she's very, very sweet. And that's my story.
The thing I remember, so if y'all don't remember, there was a whole thing about she went on SNL. There was a whole thing with like she was going to lip sync, I guess, and like the track went wrong.
She had GERD. She had a GERD issue, and it was like causing her to, I think, belch a lot.
Oh.
And so she couldn't sing live. So they played a backing track, and they do that sometimes, but it was like her second song.
Yeah.
And they played the wrong song.
Yeah.
So she was starting to sing, and then she realized it was the wrong song. And then she did like a
little dance or something.
Little country style dance, and then walked away.
Yeah.
And they went and it's bizarre, and it hurt. It just ruined. It stopped her career.
Yeah,
her music career.
It just derailed everything. But I have to imagine she's not the first one to lip sync on SNL.
No, and I know I feel bad for. I can tell you guys, she can actually sing, and she's very engaging, and she was very sweet and really appreciative.
Well, it's a good song.
Me. I'm giving her flowers. I'm saying this.
Nice.
Number 5, this song, Maroon 5. She Will Be Loved. Can't get away from it.
Still.
Ugh. Number 4, My Place by Nelly.
I don't know that one.
Number 3, Sunshine from Lil Flip featuring Leah or Lee.
I don't know that one either.
Don't know it either. And then number 1, Goodies by Ciara.
I don't know this.
I don't know it either.
What was
played them all.
What was I doing in 2004?
In 2004? I don't know. I don't know any of them.
I was working at the newspaper at the time.
Maybe? I was working at I was working at a pop culture magazine, and I don't know any of these. I'm pathetic, being my point.
Yeah. Oh, maybe music was just none of my business at that time, because
I am a rock chick too, so maybe that was it.
Yeah, that's a lot of hip hop right there.
Yeah,
that's not your jam.
It was good. I mean, I listened to them and they're good songs. Yeah. Whatever.
What else are you dorking out about, my friend?
So on Netflix, I don't know if you saw it last night. Yesterday they dropped Will and Harper.
Yep, I watched it last night.
And did you cry?
Yes, I did.
Same with me. It was beautiful and sad.
Yeah.
And first of all,
and
I
hopeful.
love me a road picture, and hopeful, very hopeful. It's a road picture, and I do like a road picture. Yeah. I do have those kind of thoughts in my head sometimes, like I'd love to drive across the U.S.,
mm-hmm.
And do what they're doing. But the background is that Will Ferrell and I'm sorry, I don't want Harper is her name. What was her name? What was her dead name? David?
I think I want to say it was David. But
David again. Yep.
Yeah. Let me.
Sorry to all the Davids out there. We have just if we're talking about a particular one.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was David, and then but he was she was a head writer on SNL.
Right. And she and Will Ferrell have been friends for 30 years, and she was there when he first got to Saturday Night Live, and they partnered together and they wrote all these scripts, and then she was a part of a lot of Will Ferrell movies. And then during COVID, she sent an email to Will to say, I'm transitioning. I'm going to be, the next time you see me, I will transition to being a woman. I'm going to be known as Harper
Steele.
Harper Steele. I keep saying, Harper Steele, which is a great name.
Yes.
Because her mother went to school with Harper Lee.
Yes, that's amazing.
Which is amazing. But they travel cross country. And so it's the first time Will sees Harper in person.
Yes.
And then they travel and they meet up with their old Saturday Night Live friends, and then they go cross country, and they're in Indiana, which is a very red state here in America.
Mm-hmm.
They go to a Pacers game, and they go to Texas and go to a bar in Texas, Oklahoma. Yeah. So they're going cross country, and Will is putting her in situations to get her used to.
Yeah, because this was something she used to do by herself when she was living as a man. Like, she wasn't how am I going to say this right?
She was very bro-y, and that's I think it was something that she kind of wrapped herself in.
Yeah.
So and she says that she got into sports because it's something like dudes were into.
Yeah. And men don't walk around feeling unsafe the way women do.
Right.
And as a trans woman, you feel even more vulnerable and scared, I imagine. And I think that is part of it, that Harper wants to go on this trip, and Will agreed to kind of be her shield almost in a way.
Bodyguard.
Like, let's do this together. And it's one, to let Harper re-experience and make new memories as her authentic self, and then also to work on their friendship and reconnect as Will gets to know who Harper really is. And I was so touched by, I wish everybody could approach this sort of thing with the curiosity and kindness that Will is doing in this, and the curiosity and kindness that Will and Harper are giving to other people as they drive through and interact with people. And I thought it was so interesting that when they talked to people one-on-one, mostly everybody was very kind, and some asked questions, some shared stories, but it's when shit got posted online that people felt emboldened to be their worst selves and say the most fucked up shit that they say like, you don't have the courage to say that shit to their face. I'm not saying any of the people we see in the movie are the people that went online.
By the way.
Yeah. But like, I'm not saying the people we see in the movie are the people that went online and said those things. I'm saying that there are people online who say really horrible things, and they do that because they can feel anonymous and they're screaming into the void, and I don't know, they just have these preconceived notions, and they don't think people are real and have real feelings and
human and complex. And and you know, for our show, What a Creep, we've had people reach out to us to say, we'll say turfy things.
Yeah.
And like they're going to change our mind or something. And we just don't engage really.
Yeah.
We're very clear about like, that shit's just wrong.
Yeah.
It's not a point of view.
It's not a difference of opinion. You're wrong.
You're wrong. It's just wrong. Bigotry is wrong. Let's just keep it there. And so that's like how we approach it. But it's easy for us in our coastal elite cities to walk around like, well, you know, that's how you behave, but it's something else entirely. You're just, you and your friend are going into a bar, people are drinking, you see Trump signs, you see, you know, all kinds of things. And then, you know, and also, and this is also, I'm glad they touched on this in the movie, but, you know, Harper waited so long to transition. And this is why, like, they talk about transitioning when you're younger, you kind of settle into your face and your voice.
Yes.
And so she appears masculine.
Yes.
And it doesn't matter how much makeup she puts on, it's still like her voice and her. And so people take that minute when they look at her to kind of go, oh. And I loved it when they met with that other trans woman who just said, this is my voice.
Yeah.
You know, why am I killing myself to make things easier for other people? Like, this is just me. And I'm like, fucking A, you're right.
That's right.
That's a me thing that I got to work through.
It's just sad that there's a large vocal part of our country that has a problem with people being who they are. And it's like, why do you care? Like, just mind your fucking business.
That goes back to minding your business and being a good neighbor and just leaving people to be like with their choices and what they're going through. And just be respectful.
Yeah. And some people are like, well, it's because it's hard. It's hard for me to do the right pronouns, and it makes me feel uncomfortable. And it's like, well, that's a you problem.
And it's not, by the way.
Yeah.
It really isn't. It's surprisingly simple, y'all.
Yeah. And I love what Harper says to Will. She says, you are my friend. You can ask me any question you want.
Right.
Like, and because I know it's coming from a good place.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I remember like in the 80s and 90s when you and I were growing up, there were a lot of gay people were like the trans people that we have now. This all repeats itself, y'all. This is nothing new. And the gay playbook was, well, they can't have babies. They're putting this and that thing, and that's not normal, and that's not okay. And it's like, by the way, straight people do it too.
Yeah.
But anyway, but it was also like, I remember on television shows and stuff like that, like those very special episodes they used to have. And it'd be like, oh, well, if you have questions, just ask me. And then like people ask the rudest shit sometimes and really inappropriate stuff. And it shows how ignorant they are. But also, you know, not everyone's open to have that space for you. And that should be okay as well. Like,
yeah, I mean, it's not Harper's job to go around educating people.
Right.
Like, and the fact that we literally have a computer in our pocket that we can ask questions to people, y'all don't have this excuse. Go on the fucking internet and read some shit, like from a reputable site, by the way. Like, don't just like go to fucking Newsmax or whatever. But like
JordanPeterson.com.
Like, you can. It's not hard to educate yourself, but also
or just like, let people be.
Yeah, mind your business, or just, I don't know, maybe if you have people in your life, maybe lead with a little curiosity and a little kindness.
Right.
And
it costs nothing to be kind.
Exactly. And that I really love this documentary. I'm hoping that like the right people see it. Like,
I think it's going to save lives. I'll be honest with you.
I hope it probably will. And I think I really,
that's why I started crying.
And I think Will Ferrell does a good job of like being thoughtful and asking good questions. But he's Will Ferrell. He's also just like really funny, and like, you know, the whole thing where they're buying all the Pringles wherever they go. Like, or like,
how much did you want those Pringles?
I know. I was like, and by the way, my phone must have fucking heard the show or something, because now my TikTok's like, don't you want these Lay's potato chips for the all dressed Lay's potato chips or whatever? And I was like, yes, I do. What is happening?
You read my mind.
We're in a chip renaissance or something. Like, it's just everything. But he does a really good job, and it's really funny. Like the whole thing, like he packs a Sherlock costume for some reason. Like, he's such a weirdo, but like, because I think he just wants to make people laugh. Like,
it's his power in a situation, and he's using it for good.
Yeah, and but there's also things in the documentary where he's like, I actually exposed you in a way that maybe you didn't need to be exposed, because he attracts a lot of attention wherever he goes, and Harper doesn't always want that attention. Like, Harper just wants to be, you know, to blend in, and you can't really do that when you're with Will Ferrell.
Yeah, they were at this steak place.
Yeah.
And he's dressed as Sherlock Holmes, and then it starts funny, and then it gets a little weird because they're very much on display. I did laugh hysterically when somebody yelled out, "Ricky Bobby!" because that's like my friend Kim's favorite movie, and her sons called her kitten Ricky Bobby Kitty.
So many, like, come on, we all have like Will Ferrell. I'm an Anchorman. I'm an Anchorman person.
I'm an Anchorman person, and Blades of Glory cracks me up, and I love him.
Yeah, we should do a Will Ferrell movie soon.
We should.
Everyone's going to be really upset when I tell you I haven't seen Talladega Nights.
I don't like Talladega Nights, so that's even worse.
Oh,
I just don't care about it. It's like, I had an argument with somebody about it. I'm just like, I just don't find cars interesting at all.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of his other movies, just I haven't seen that one, and that's the one that, like, I don't know.
Everybody loves Talladega Nights except me. I know. I feel like a weirdo.
That's me with Meet the Parents.
Man again?
Everyone loved Meet the Parents, and I was like, I don't like Meet the Parents, and people were like, what? What's wrong with you? And I was like, I don't think it's funny. I was like, I hate it. I actively hate it. So I get it. What else are you watching, my friend?
I'll just do a couple more. So I'm also there's a Vince McMahon documentary on Netflix.
Oh yeah, that's on my list.
It's really good, but I can't even get through the last episode because I hate him so much.
Yeah.
Once again, we also did an episode on him for What a Creep, and he's horrible. But I will say he sucks. But this documentary gave me such a good introduction to wrestling.
Oh.
And I really found that interesting and really cool.
Oh. Are you going to become a wrestling fan? You going to start watching?
I might. I actually kind of, I had friends that were addicted to Raw on Monday nights, and they would talk about it. I'm like, what are you?
It's their Real Housewives.
But exactly, that's it.
Yes.
It's their Below Deck or their Real Housewives. Like, I get it. I totally get it now. I'm like, oh, yeah, this is fun.
I get it. I follow a lot of people. You know what's interesting? A lot of people in the horror movie community, people who love horror movies, also love wrestling. So
that makes sense to me. It's the costumes. It's like going out, it's the extremes.
Yeah.
And the overacting and the it's all tied together.
There's a lot of wrestling in my feed on social media on certain nights of the week when clearly something is on, and I was like, oh, it's wrestling night.
Yeah. And then what else did I see? I wanted to mention something else. Well, of course, Below Deck, and then Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
So good.
So good. I love the new cast.
They
show
petty.
Up. They're ready to go.
Even Mary's like, I'm going to participate this year. Like, I was like, yeah, Mary, please do.
Yeah.
You kook.
It's great. It's great. I love it. And I love Bronwyn and not her costumes, her fashions.
Yeah, her fashion.
But I think she's hilarious. I'm totally in.
Me too. So good. I'm like, is there anything else? I was like, your list is my list, basically.
Yeah, I know. Usually we watch the same thing.
I know. Oh, I did go see The Substance.
Oh, yeah. We were talking about that. We also were on reserved seating on YouTube, on the F This Movie channel. We talked about Shawshank Redemption,
which was so good.
Adam Risky
and
our friend Adam Risky and Adam and Rob from F This Movie.
So fun.
And go on.
No, it was just so fun. And yeah, that movie's surprise. Shawshank Redemption's a masterpiece. Like,
yes,
it's so good. There's a reason everybody loves it. This isn't a Talladega Nights Meet the Parents situation. We love this one too, just like everyone else. It's so good. The performances are great. Another movie that's about hope. And yeah, it's really, really good. And I saw The Substance with Demi Moore and Margaret Qualley.
Right, that's what I wanted to hear about. Yeah.
And the movie has a lot to say about feminism and beauty culture and the way other women will kind of take from each other to lift themselves up. Mm-hmm. It's, by the way, no one has ever looked more beautiful than Margaret. Or let me rephrase this. Hot. They purposely make Margaret Qualley look like the hottest thing you've ever seen. Like, the whole point is, like, Demi Moore's this, like, aging, like, almost like a Jane Fonda. Like, she's been an actress. She's won all these awards. And then she also has, like, an aerobics component. Like, and she has, like, an aerobic show. And she's aging out of that. And Dennis Quaid plays, like, the worst person you've ever met. Like, basically telling her that you're old now and nobody wants to fuck you. So we're going to replace you with someone. And so Demi Moore's character gets introduced to something called The Substance, where it, like, kind of, you become like a younger version of yourself, kind of. I don't want to give too much away, but Margaret Qualley is that person. And they purposely film her in a way that, like, it's very male gazy, you know, lots of lingering on her ass and her crotch and her boobs and all that. And, like, it's uncomfortable, but it's kind of supposed to be because it's telling you something. So it's a little bit of having its cake and eating it too. But the performances are really great. And I will warn y'all, the movie's fucking gross as shit. It's so fucking gross. If you don't like body horror, it's not for you. And
what's body horror?
Like, bodies, like, splitting open.
Like Tomahawk? Tomahawk? Have you seen that?
I haven't, because I heard it was so gross. But
no one warned me. And then it happened on my screen and I almost passed out.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, there's some nasty stuff. Like, yeah, it's gross. It's fucking gross. There's, like, pussy wounds and, like, yeah, it's nasty. And then, and then the movie just goes to some really bananas places. So I don't want to spoil anything. I think that they are really, really good in it. I like what it's trying to say. I think it's the type of movie that people watch and they, like, write papers on, and you can dig as deep as you want or not. You could just be like, no, it's a gross horror movie, and that's fine too, if that's what you want. But I'm glad I saw it in the theater. Like,
I hear Dennis Quaid's really good in it.
He is really good in it. And yeah, he is playing, like, the worst person. It's like, a really schmoozy, gross TV executive. I can't think of another word other than gross. But he's, like, wearing, like, really outlandish suits, and he's, like, really hyper. He's probably, like, coked out of his gourd in the movie. The character, by the way, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know what Dennis Quaid's into, but he is really
in the 80s. Yeah, you could guess what he was into.
Pussy. He's into pussy.
Not mine, but I wish. Back in the day.
Oh my God, 80s Dennis Quaid? Oh,
you could have all this.
Yes, all of yep. Dennis Quaid now? No, he can't. No, he's no. It's so interesting. He makes a movie like this and Reagan in the same year.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, it's so wild. Like he has 2 movies in the theater right now, and those are the movies.
Yeah, they're on the other side of each. Like they couldn't be farther apart. Which I guess, hey, good for Dennis Quaid. He's got range. But yeah, that movie's bananas, and so I liked it, but it's not the kind of movie where you're like, hey, run out and see The Substance. It's so good. Like, people will be like, what the fuck, Sonia? Why would you recommend that shit to me? It's not that
Everyone's
kind of movie.
recommending it, though. I'm hearing from a lot of different people that they love it. I'm trying to get, I think it's at Alamo Drafthouse.
Yeah.
I was trying to get tickets for it, but I think it's like only there till next Thursday.
Oh, already?
So I wonder if it's going to go to streaming already. Yeah.
That's so fast.
Yeah.
Well, I guess, that's kind of how it is these days. So
yeah,
there's a lot of movies coming out. 'Tis the season. We're going to start getting all of our Oscar movies and all that. So it's going to start getting busy. But then they'll probably be streaming the following week. So have a little patience.
How is Demi Moore in the movie?
She's really, really good. I was so happy to see Demi Moore. So happy. And she's like making the talk show rounds. And did you see the clips of her on Graham Norton's show with her little dog?
No.
Oh my God. She's got this tiny little dog. I forget the dog's name, but she's itty bitty and she's like missing some teeth. So her tongue hangs out all the time. And like Demi Moore is great. And like she has stories to tell, so many stories.
She's lived it all.
Yeah. And she's one of those people who's always good. Like I know it became like not cool to like Demi Moore anymore for a while, but she's always been good. We did an episode on St. Elmo's Fire, one of our most popular episodes. Mm-hmm. That movie is whatever the fuck it is, but she's really good in it. And she's one of those people who's really good. So, did you watch The Penguin yet?
No, it's on my list. Is it good?
I haven't even started it, and I'm deciding whether or not I want to watch it. I'm like, if I'm going to watch something with Will Ferrell, I don't want him to look like that. No, I'm sorry, I'm objectifying Will Ferrell, but not Will Ferrell. Oh my God. Colin Farrell.
Oh, wrong Ferrell.
Oh my God. Like, sorry, I'm staring at the Will and Harper thing, and that's where I went. I mean, Colin Farrell. I haven't watched it yet. I don't know if I want to make room for another comic book thing in my life, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm debating. I was waiting for you to start it and tell me. I also tried to watch Agatha All Along.
I haven't started that either.
Because I love Catherine Hahn and I love
Same.
Aubrey Plaza's in it and Patti LuPone, like all these really great people. And I watched it and I was like, yeah, I like it. But because I'm not as steeped in the Marvel universe, I feel like there's a whole thing I'm missing. And I was like, well, I don't want to do homework to watch the show. So I don't know. I might keep going because I like them so much, but I think there might be some things I'm missing from it. There's a lot of Easter eggs, I suspect, that tie to other Marvel things. And it's interesting because everyone says this like second round of Marvel stuff is totally failing and it's because the quality isn't as good. And I was like, I don't think it's that the quality isn't good. I think it's too much.
I think we have fatigue. We have Marvel fatigue.
And there's too much. It's like homework. I was like, I have to like watch all these other things for me to really appreciate Agatha All Along. And it's like, well, I don't want to do that. I just want to watch the thing. Like, it's too much. It's too much to ask. And people forget that those other Marvel movies, they were all spaced out. Like, we got like one a year for a while. It's like we had plenty of time to catch up before the next one. And now it's too much. And I can't keep up. But great cast.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's everything. Anything else?
It's more than enough.
More than enough. If you like the sound of our voices, we've already mentioned this a few times. We co-host another podcast called What a Creep, where we talk about creeps of the past and the present. Sometimes we just talk about tropes and stereotypes, which is what's out right now. We're talking about nice guys and wife guys. And
it's sort of a companion piece to our Cool Girls and Pick Me Girls episode.
Yes, exactly. So you could listen to one, listen to the other, and then, probably send us an email going, you guys suck. No, I'm kidding. No, please enjoy. Like,
it's fine.
No,
it's fine.
It's fine. Like, listen, if you like the sound of our voices, go check it out. If you want to give us a review for Dorking Out Show, that would be so great. It helps us find our people. Or you can email us at dorkingoutshow@gmail.com. And if you give us your address, Margot will send you stickers. They are really cute. You can put them on your laptop or your to-go coffee mugs or whatever you like to do. You can also find us at Dorking Out Show on Twitter and Threads and Instagram and Blue Sky and all those things. My friend, where can they find you?
You can find me at brooklynfitchick.com, and I'm at brooklynfitchick for Threads and Instagram, and I'm at Brooklyn Margot for TikTok and Twitter.
Follow her on all the things. She always shares like clips of everything we're doing because she's really good at stuff like that.
I'm trying to be.
I share pictures of my dogs. So, and you can find me at thesoniashow.com and The Sonia Show on Twitter and Threads and Instagram and Blue Sky and Mastodon and TikTok. I actually posted something on TikTok last night. This was super fun, my friend, talking about Shaun of the Dead. I'm excited for us to get into some scary movies this month.
Barbara, we're coming to get you!
We're coming to get you!